Hello and welcome to the Progressive Pals podcast. I am Brentley, and here with us with me we've got Benjamin. How you doing,
Yes,
Benjamin?
I am here.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are here. This is
yeah.
great. It's two times in a row. I don't know what's going on.
It's weird.
Okay, and we've got Hertzy. Hertzy's back. What's up?
I'm finally recovered from Convergence.
Yeah.
Yes. I've got like 5 cosplays I want to do next year, but that's a whole nother subject.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
the theme is all dressed up, so
Oh yeah.
gowns.
Right? Wow, that's great. So you did well, real quick, because I don't think we got to talk about it for too long the last time. So both y'all were at Skepticon, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And Hertzy, you spoke and you did like a whole presentation type of thing.
I was one of the workshops. They were desperate.
Yeah,
Ah,
I ratted you out, Hertzy.
But and let me guess, it was a satanic panic?
It was a satanic panic.
And
So
that's your specialty,
it is. It was connecting the satanic panic to a lot of the conspiracy theories we have today. And it's interesting because a lot of those, even in the satanic panic, a lot of those can be connected farther and farther back. And just like almost every conspiracy theory, it all runs down to anti Semitism.
Yeah.
So what you're
Yeah,
saying is
pretty
there's
much.
a real theory behind conspiracy theories.
There's a
Well, there's a difference
theory,
between okay, go ahead. Sorry. This is your expertise.
they all stem from a very similar idea, which I guess you could say is the conspiracy theory about conspiracy theories, only we have like history on our side.
Mm,
Yeah, so like
okay.
more of an actual theory.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, because there's a difference between conspiracies and conspiracy theories, according to the book I was just listening to. And now, conspiracy is just any group of people working together in order to do something nefarious and behind the scenes. But a conspiracy theory is usually people thinking that these things are happening when it's usually they're non sequitur nonsense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in that
Well,
case, I would actually say I wouldn't say it's a conspiracy then, because I don't think that there's some like guiding force for a lot of this. It's like there's a lot of like, how do these people go to this? It seems more like a idea that ebbs and flows as time goes, and it just keeps getting passed down. But I don't think there's like a cabal that's like trying to make it work. I think there's a lot of grifters who take advantage of it, but again, I don't think they're working together in the same way of like the Illuminati.
Yeah, so
right. That's what it is. It's just
the Illuminati paid you to say that, didn't they?
They did, but then the check bounced.
it's that
So
Soros. Oh, the Soros check bounced. That
Well,
counts.
that's a whole different thing.
Unfortunate.
yeah, I was gonna say Soros is a totally different one. His checks are good.
Right.
I wish.
Jesus. Yeah. Right.
I
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
take the Soros money
That
and the
was like
Illuminati.
that was like the one thing like before like my last conversation with my dad. It was all about that like the Illuminati and how they're in control of everything. And it was just after the January 6th insurrection. I was just trying to find out what he thought about that. He's like, that's small potatoes. The Illuminati's controlling everything. And I was like, oh fuck, really? And then I was like, have you heard of the Q thing? And he's like, the Q what? I'm like, nothing, never mind. Don't even
Nope.
Nope,
please
nope,
don't
nope,
Google it.
please
Nope, nope,
Don't
nope, nope.
look
Quilts.
don't
We're
look that
talking
up.
about quilts. We're talking about
Yeah.
quilting
The,
theory. Actually,
whole
can get
quilt
very
thing.
theoretical.
But yeah, it's just Nazi propaganda, literally. I mean,
Oh
that's
yeah,
that's what it is.
Benjamin, what were you
That's
gonna say?
yeah,
Nothing.
Nothing. Are you sure?
perfect. All right, that's great.
I don't believe him.
Liar. So, um, yeah. So I don't know. Anything going on this week? Because it's a slow news week, or what?
Let's see here. Hold on one
Well, I
second.
was gonna do some sacrifices
Hmm,
Ooh.
and
okay.
make sure to. What do we do? What are the things we do? Eat babies?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, particularly their faces.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a thing about
Oh, yeah.
specifically faces.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton, and of course, she's the
Oh,
model. She's who
yeah.
that's who we all look up
We
to eat faces just like, you know.
Yeah.
I think there are things
Christ.
I do look up to her for. Like, there's been a lot of stuff she's gone through, but it's like she's not super role model.
Yeah, no. I mean, because she's
She's
an
got issues
establishment,
too.
Yeah, and I'm not big on establishment Democrats, but yeah, I don't know. So, but have you heard, okay, so let me just to give a little background here. The FBI, raided Mar-a-Lago, Trump's place, right?
Yep.
And it seems like the overwhelming argument that because I like to argue on Twitter, like every normal person on the planet, right? Um, it seems like overwhelmingly the most common argument is once again, but Hillary's emails.
So they're still saying that.
Yeah.
They
It's
cannot get over her.
Because we were all joking
just-
about it. We were like, but what about the emails?
Yeah. And they're serious about it though.
If there really is an obsession with the Clintons and especially Hillary, since she had, and I think part of it is she's the one who had the audacity to run and actually be a successful run.
Yeah.
She was a really, really up there for candidate. I think that's kind of what they just can't handle that. Because Obama also had the audacity and got in. So it's like,
Right.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
got
the
millions
same thing.
more.
So go online and search reviews for any Marvel project that is focused around a woman, and you will see glowing reviews, how amazing and wonderful and fantastic it is. You go on there for anything else that's like woman-led, like Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel, even She-Hulk now, people are losing it. Like, what a giant pile of crap this is. It's the worst thing they've ever put out. How dare they?
Right.
Not just those, but there's been Facebook has figured out that I love watching movie trailers, so I get a whole bunch of them, and there's a bunch of horror movie ones where they've had a woman lead, and it's kind of about things that women fear. So part of me is just going, I mean, yeah, it looks good, but that also kind of looks like every day.
Right.
So
yeah, just not sort of how She-Hulk was saying.
Yeah, and it's like I'm going through the comments, and it's like, oh, this is such propaganda, da 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 da, and I'm like, you guys really cannot empathize with the factor that there are people who actually have this, not like this exactly, but that this is kind of mimicking a thing for you to be empathetic with.
Right. We're trying to get you to actually care about another person's experience that might not be exactly like you. That's it. That's
my favorite online comment though that I always
propaganda.
see is people talking about how now that Disney owns Marvel, how woke Marvel has become. It's like, were you actually reading the comics?
This is like the Rage Against the Machine thing all over again. Marvel's always been progressive.
They've tried. They've tried. It's not been great, wonderful. Here's a great, solid example of progressivity or whatever the fucking word is.
Right.
But
well, I mean, for the time,
they've tried.
40 years old, though. We're doing stories right now that are 40 years old. So for that time, they were quite progressive.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess from a what do you call it? A relativist, moral relativism type, argument. But still,
I was gonna say, I think part of the problem though is we haven't progressed from that in Marvel. Miles Morales, the Spider-Man, Miles Morales Spider-Man is one of the best Spider-Man movies.
Absolutely. Hands
absolutely
down.
Amazing. The fact that we could not actually have the progression of Miles into the next Spider-Man and keep it there is so frustrating.
Especially when we made a movie that's literally that movie. That cartoon, or that animated one. We made
similar notes.
Like, why couldn't? And it's like all they did was like nod to it when Electro, like, Electro was like, "Oh, there's got to be a black Spider-Man out there somewhere," and that was it. That's all we got as far as like a nod to Miles Morales.
There is a second movie coming out, but yeah, and I think he had a run in like 52, which was this weird altered universe thing. But it wasn't. But like, I think the creator of him wanted him to actually take over for Peter Parker as a permanent thing.
Oh, cool. But hey, I don't know how familiar y'all are with Big Brother. Are y'all familiar with that at all?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen?
No.
Have you seen that they are basically like blocking anybody that is talking about the racial bias that's behind this at the moment on Reddit?
What racial bias? What are you talking about?
The Mormon guy is like trying to start an all white alliance.
Oh, he did make a comment about that. But okay, so you have
comments.
to okay.
Like several comments.
I hate to be this guy, but there is some context there when you look at last season. So last season is one of the first seasons where CBS actually committed to having a 50% non-white cast. So there was a lot of black people on the show, and they all teamed up into an alliance that they called the Cookout. And they all worked together because there'd never been a black winner of Big Brother. So they all
it's about representation, though.
Yeah, it is about representation, right?
Because a white person's won every single time.
Yeah. So
forever.
But before, so you have to realize that some of these people that ended up getting eliminated from the show last season, the majority of them aren't even mad. They're like, I totally get it. Like, I understand. I see why you had to do what you had to do. But this guy, it's definitely racist. Because he's saying, he's like, well, look at all these black people in this house now. They're going to all do like last year, and they're going to work against us. So let's make sure we work against them.
And none of them are. That's the thing.
They're not working that way.
They're not doing that. And he's just, because of his like racially biased mind, he's like assuming that they're all doing this shit. I hope, this isn't spoilers.
Like I said, there is a little bit of context.
Yeah, a little bit. But
because of last year, so I can
because of the Cookout, yeah.
It's still a whole thing, though. Like you can't say that. But he's only tried it a couple of times,
but the other thing he said,
softly guided by another house guest who was like, "Bro, you can't do that. You can't say that. You can't be that way."
Was it Turner?
No.
That's my dog right there, Turner.
Brittany.
Oh, okay.
Good old wide-eyed Brittany. She was basically just saying to him, like, you can't do this. And she's like, if it comes to me or someone like that needs a representation, she's like, I'm just done for, and I accept that.
Yeah. But did you see he like it was Kyle and Alyssa, and they like were like in front of the camera, and he's like, this is what everybody thinks of when they think of an American couple. Two blonde hair, blue-eyed, like white people. Like, what the fuck? I'm like, okay, fuck you, man. Like, what are you doing?
But he's still young, and he's still growing.
Right.
Honestly, like he's still young, and he's like,
what?
From the appearances, I'm not defending him. What he said was inexcusable, but he's still young and he's fresh out of Mormonism, which I empathize with.
Okay.
Personally.
Yeah, I feel you there.
In fact, I was actually talking to Amy about this earlier, where I was talking about how I feel like my racism, I treat it like it's an addiction.
Oh,
so I treat it like a recovering addict. Because I know that I thought racist things. I know that I said racist things. And I know that that's somewhere built into me. So my goal is to constantly, actively, always work against that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because, I mean, because if you're raised a certain way, especially if you're like raised conservative in any way, shape, or form, you can like fall into these biases without realizing it,
Well, and even if you grew up relatively liberal, because I grew up actually fairly liberal-ish, heavy on the ish. And there's still biases I have and things that I have to work on.
Well, I think that, I mean, everybody's like, racism isn't natural, which I would agree. But I do think that fear of other is natural. Like that's just, you know what I mean? There is a part of our genetic whatever,
Yeah,
that causes us to
when you look at
fear other.
tribalism and all that, our brains are
Or in-group, out-groupism.
wired
We don't
to.
use tribalism.
Yeah,
But yeah.
we don't use the term tribalism. Is it a bad term?
Yeah, you don't want to use that.
Okay.
Because we still have tribes today that
Yes,
Yeah.
but
so it's
tribe
not
isn't.
that
I
don't
can
mean
I
that.
can see why you'd want to avoid it, but the
Yeah.
word tribe is
Groupage?
essentially an English
Groupage?
word to
Groupage
Yeah,
describe
would
a
work.
I
group.
did this like that's what Callie was telling me
Yeah,
last
okay.
time I
Now I've
talked to him,
learned.
and I trust Callie's.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean? If they say a thing, that I'm like, okay, I got you,
I'm with
because
I'm with
I
him.
said it and I was like, oh my bad, I didn't realize that was
When I stop and think
offensive.
about it, I can see how someone might take issue with that. So,
Mhm.
but the whole point is we have this group mentality and we have a built-in us versus them.
Yes, yeah,
And that's
absolutely.
another thing we have to actively work against.
Yeah. And it's in your brain, like it's so weird. That's why, like, constantly I'm having to like question, like use critical thinking and just be like, am I right? Am I right? And
Yeah.
that's why I just have to be humble and be like that. That's why I don't do like what most skeptic YouTubers and stuff do, where they kind of act like they're like smug and like know everything. Like I'm the opposite. I don't, I don't know, man. Like I'm just doing my best here, you know. And I know that turns off a lot of people, a lot of viewers and stuff like that. But I'm sorry, I'm just trying to be honest, and do my best.
Yeah. So when it comes to that, we are naturally built that way because it's survival. That's how we survived. We would group together
Hmm.
and we would be wary of other groups because they weren't necessarily coming in with good intentions. They wanted the stuff we had.
Right.
So when you look at how our DNA actually passes down information, if you look at all these studies that exist out there, they have even rats where they've done experiments on where their children or their grandchildren of these rats will still have the same aversion to a certain smell or something. Like they'll provide the one rat with a shock every time they say spray like a lemon spray.
Mm.
And so that rat will give birth to a child who's not experienced this, and they'll spray a lemon spray, and that rat will skitter away.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So there
Yeah.
is some
Because
sort of learned
it's
natural
genetic.
techniques genetically passed down that
Yeah.
we have shown with science, and that's one of those things that still kind of exists in our brains.
That's it. Yeah. That is very interesting.
Every hive science actually has something about that.
That's called
there.
epigenetics.
Huh.
That's what Hive Science said.
Epigenetics. Okay.
Is that because it's epic?
Yes. Yeah, that's it. That's why.
Turns out I actually did know what I was talking about.
You did. Yeah.
It's always
This
scary.
time.
There's so many times when it's scary because I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure what I'm saying is right, but
But hey, again, being a good skeptic is admitting that, like, like I'm just doing the best I can. You know what I mean?
I could tell you a completely made up thing with such a confident voice. You're gonna just buy into it.
Right. Yeah. And
I
you
won't do that.
You're as convincing as like Kenneth Copeland as far as like charismaticness. Sure. Yeah, that's the word I'm going
Sure.
with.
Yeah, we're just gonna make up words this whole time. I will totally do that. I don't care. Okay, so that's the thing. No, let me go on a side tangent here.
Okay, real quick.
I don't care if you're using real words. I don't care if you spell your words correctly, because the whole point is that you are communicating. And as long as I understand what you are saying to me, none of it matters. And if anybody picks on that, you are missing the point. That's elitism.
Right. Yeah.
It's kind of racist.
Some ivory tower bullshit. It's
like when people say, "Did you just say X?" Yeah, you knew what I meant, didn't you?
Yeah.
Like who cares? Like as long as it's the point's communicated, I don't give a shit.
As long as you're communicating, I don't care if you're making up words the whole time. I don't care if you're mixing up words. As long as I understand what you're saying, and if I don't, you know what I'm going to do?
Ask.
I'm going to say, "Can you clarify this particular thing for me, or can you repeat that?"
Yeah. Just elaborate. Yeah. But all
So
right.
make up all the words you want. This is the whole point.
So this is Eric Metaxas.
Texas.
Who has a show, I believe it's just called the Eric Metaxas Show, because they're just so unbelievably unoriginal with the way they title their shows. But
is he a libertarian because he has like a real last name for that?
No, I mean, he's a Christian nationalist,
it's like,
as far as I know.
Metaxas, no taxes.
But dude, this
that could be his tagline if he ran for like libertarian office.
That's
give them ideas.
Yeah, don't give him. I mean, we know he's a viewer and he loves this show, but
he's actually right to the left of me, staring at me with hard eye contact. He has not moved an inch.
Put your arm around him. All right, let's see what he's got to say. So basically, my point is he compares fucking I did a whole video on how he compared, and of course I can't think of what it was, but he compared something to the Rothschild fire or whatever, where the Nazis like set their own thing on fire to basically justify going in and doing war crimes. But anyway, he was like comparing shit to that, and now he's comparing shit to World War II and the Nazis once again. So
the silence of the church in America today is precisely like the silence of the German church in the early 30s. They believed they had good reasons for being silent. The German Christian leaders thought, we just want to preach the gospel. We don't want to get involved in politics. They really believed that. What their actions did led to hell on earth, led to the Holocaust, led to evil triumphing in a way that is unimaginable to those of us who live in a...
All right, first of all, Christianity was like how Hitler got everybody to organize. So I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
I would say it's a tool in a large tool belt, because they hit with a lot of different stuff.
So, number one, do you think he actually did the due diligence here and actually saw how Christian churches at all responded to Hitler? Or is he just saying this off the top of his head?
This is off the top of his head. I guarantee it.
Secondly, let's say the church did say something. What would have happened then?
So, and this is an interesting thing about churches, because there's the Catholic Church as a hierarchy, and then there's parishes, and different parishes will oftentimes go kind of their own way. And I mean, there were priests who didn't like the whole Holocaust thing. It was very, very narrow, and of course the hierarchy was totally okay with it. You know what happened? If I recall correctly, what happened to them is they got sent to the fucking camps.
Yeah, that's
as soon as they got caught that something was going on, because like there were some people who would like give baptism certificates to people to help them sneak through things and stuff. And again, it was like, the same with any of the politicians and ambassadors and stuff in Germany. People were doing there's all sorts of undercover shit. But yeah, if he got caught, they shipped him to the fucking camp. Of course,
But what he's saying though too is he's talking about before there were camps. Right. When Hitler was first coming into power.
Then they just...
And the people that weren't challenging him and saying, hey, you shouldn't murder Jewish people because that's bad.
But it didn't start there. He didn't start there. Hitler didn't start running his campaign. He said, let's build camps to murder as many Jewish people as possible. That's not where it started. But he's talking about how the church should have seen the signs that this man was going to take over Germany and he was going to do all these atrocious things. But people didn't see that. He was a charismatic, he riled people up.
Yeah, see him
also, very few people took him seriously for quite a while too. He was kind of a surprise candidate. I mean, admittedly, kind of like Trump. Wow. He was a surprise candidate. They didn't think he was going to win, and then all of a sudden,
Holy shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That was the whole point. So basically, he was the kind of person that was telling these masses that essentially weren't normal voters, like in Trump's case, and he was telling them what they wanted to hear. He was telling them he was going to solve their problems for them. He's going to make everything better.
We're going to get rid of the people you don't like.
Yeah.
He
essentially.
Or at least be mean to them.
He also did a lot of manipulation on other sides because, one of the right-wing things is like, well, Nazis have the word socialist in it. And that was specifically to get the socialist parties under him. And then as soon as he got their vote enough to actually get in, he basically slapped him away and said, fuck this.
And then went to the fascist party. Because I feel like socialism and fascism are like the two opposing things, right?
Well, so that's an interesting piece because socialism is more of an economic structure, whereas fascism is more of a governmental structure.
Yeah.
So you can have a socialist dictator.
Okay.
Because it's two different, because it's an economic system. It's not a government system.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay. Yeah, no, that makes good sense.
I don't think that's a good idea.
But it's more about how it's enforced is the...
So socialism is basically the idea that the government will take care of a certain amount of things. So, for example, like Sweden, they take care of the healthcare, they take care of all sorts of stuffs, that we don't have. But even in America, hello, Titan.
Yay, Titan Uranus.
My
favorite.
Roads, police, fire, that's all a socialist piece. And then on a governmentalness, we're kind of a republic democracy piece. So, yeah, you can have the two, or you can have different economic systems along with different governmental systems.
Gotcha. Okay. I'm glad you cleared that up for me because that has been confusing to me like for the longest time. Let's keep going. Like I can't believe how fast time's going.
But it was unimaginable to most Germans in the 1930s. But it actually happened. My mother lived through it. My family lived through it. People lived through hell on earth, and it was principally, I say this as a Christian, because of the silence of of German Christians. And today there is no question in my mind, I write about it in the book, that we have exactly the same thing. You have American Christian leaders saying, you know what, I want to take a pass on that. I don't want to talk about controversial stuff. I don't want to talk about the Hunter Biden laptop. I don't want to talk about the communist Chinese torturing Uyghur Muslims who are making our Nike sneakers and our Apple products. I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about the hoax of January 6th. I don't want to talk about Gretchen Whitmer. Mitch McConnell doesn't want to talk about it. We've got tons of Republicans who refuse to.
That hoax was super well documented, and the people doing the hoax like had their own cameras showing themselves while they were doing the hoax. So just so fucking weird.
But I love that. I don't want to talk about all of these things I'm going to bring up, but I don't want to back it up with any actual information or anything like that.
And he does know that there are a shit ton of pastors and priests who do preach at the pulpit or politic at the pulpit. In fact, I would say actually there's almost an opposite issue of a lot of the more liberal places actually respect the Johnson Amendment and don't preach at the pulpit, which is not necessarily a problem, but it's one of those, it's like, no, dude, you got this backwards.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, so Metaxas is the guy who wrote the Donald Builds the Wall and Donald Drains the Swamp children's books.
How did that swamp draining go?
I mean, they drained all the documents from Mar-a-Lago.
I wouldn't be surprised if there were more, considering that it took them 3 times just to get the ones they have.
Why would children give a fuck about any of this?
It might be kind of one of those like children's books.
Yeah.
where it's like it's not really a children's book, but
it's children's books.
well, like
Okay.
was
Don't indoctrinate my children.
like John Oliver had one about a bunny who was gay, and it was to contradict what's his nose, Pence. He destroyed a wetland. Yeah.
What is that in reference to?
I have no idea.
He destroyed a wetland.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Benjamin, you're good at Googling, like
Am
information. Yeah, you're the Google expert.
What if I don't
to
want
open their
to?
mouths because they don't want to risk anything because they're cowards and they're not patriots. But
No.
even worse than that is Christian leaders who have chosen to be quiet. And I want to say, God will not hold us guiltless. Silence in the face of evil is itself evil.
Okay. Hey, well,
Okay. I'm going to take a moment here. Eric Metaxas's background looks like a really cheesy hotel.
Yes.
No,
yeah.
that's his house.
Oh man,
I know, but it looks like a cheesy hotel.
Like who decorates their house? Like, can you give me a hotel? Like, what's
It's just a little too shiny.
That's like weird rich people stuff.
Yeah.
He's like on Queer Eye. Like, can you do crummy hotel? Can you?
I was gonna say, do not insult like that.
Here we go.
Yeah, he'd be like, no.
Brett, I got some Donald Builds the Wall pulled up.
Oh no shit. Okay, wait. Do you got it in the?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I see it. Bro, let me add this stream. Here we go.
So, viewing a sample. Donald Builds the Wall. Donald the Caveman.
The caveman.
The what?
To all who love freedom in America and around the world.
Why would he be wearing like?
Listen, okay, let's read some. Okay, once upon a time, long, long ago, all the people lived in caves.
I'm gonna have to mute.
But the cave people were very happy.
Why do the women have lipstick? Sorry.
Well, it's not lipstick, it's the blood of their enemies. A caveman named Donald once drained the smelly money swamp that had surrounded them. Their old king and all of his nasty swamp creatures had run away. Now the cave people were free. They made Donald their president. A president is a leader who helps his people. Donald and all the cave people helped each other, and together they made their country great again. Okay, so let me, how did they help each other? Because their very individualistic attitudes would counteract that.
Yeah.
Let's read this last few lines here. On this first couple of pages, everything became more and more wonderful. They named their new country the Land of the Free, and the people were known as the Free People.
Wow. They really like to
Yep.
Yeah. Also, we probably shouldn't go too far with this because there can be stuff with copyright.
No, this is a reaction video.
There can still be stuff with things.
I know we still have to bug them with it, but that's good. That's just a little bit. This is a snippet of the exciting venture of.
Because I would love to do a review of Precious Moment stories because I have actually my old book of Precious Moment stories, like little short stories. Yeah. I was like, ooh, copyright.
Goddamn copyright bullshit.
I'm gonna have to write my own. Should we do our own Progressive Pals children's book?
Yes.
I'm gonna tap out of that one. I don't have kids. I don't think I can do it.
I have access to Dolly, so I can use it to generate all the images. Because you can use those legally. They're legally, you own them when you have access and you generate them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Intriguing.
Very.
So I don't know if you've ever heard of these two folks. Their names are
the reality
Diamond and Silk. And they are, this is like one of the, honestly, I had to pick this one just because like it's It's like dangerously absurd, honestly.
I mean, that doesn't narrow it down.
It's like, but it's a problem.
Oh,
though.
oh my goodness! Wait, this is on. So before we even started, this is on Lindell TV. Use promo code. Listen to this. Use promo code Trump1 at mypillow.com to save up to 66%.
I'd like to apologize for Lindell as a Minnesotan. He's not. I did not think there was somebody who would go up to Michelle Bachmann and say, "Here, hold my beer."
Yes. And by the way, that's not one of our sponsors. But if you are ever needing to feel better about yourself, call BetterHelp. And BetterHelp is a online. I'm not going to do it. I'm just kidding.
No,
but,
they haven't paid us.
No.
We don't have a legally binding contract yet.
I feel like if I just keep advertising for them,
say random things,
like
just
eventually
say random businesses until we get one.
Do you think that the Lindell TV is like in Minnesota? Like,
is it? Do you think you could find it?
It's got to be, right?
I'm kind
of
wondering.
Everybody does everything online. Doesn't even matter. Look at this terrible green screen.
Yeah.
This guy on here on the right here.
Well, and yeah, that's what I'm thinking though. It's like if this is all just zoomed and they're all doing it via this, that could be housed in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid laws.
All right, here we go.
President Trump, without a shadow of a doubt, is under demonic attack like never before.
I love this search.
Satan only attacks whom he fears the most. Satan only goes after.
He knows that because Satan was like, "Look, dude, I don't attack just anybody. Okay, I only attack those that are the biggest threat. Okay, just so you know." And so he's like, "No, that's why he's just repeating, what the devil told him." So.
Oh, okay. So anything else is not the devil.
Yes.
So like Mr. Small Fries Potato Man over to the side, who is clearly demonically possessed. It's not the devil.
Is that true? Titan Uranus? Like, where did you get? So it says Lindell said today that all election results from Utah are false because nobody in Utah votes.
I mean,
I can see that.
How many people do you know in Utah that voted?
And Maya's vomiting right now. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
How many? How many, Brent? How many?
Huh? How
many
many
people do you personally know?
Yeah.
That live in Utah and actually voted?
Oh, millions. I know personally.
You know them personally? Because I don't know any personally, except for
I'd have to check with Steve.
I don't know, maybe that one guy.
And Bob.
Isn't there like a huge prophecy that the Mormons are going to take over? So I mean, you'd think that they would be very prolific voters.
Well, you mean when the end of the world comes and they all go to Missouri because that's where the original Garden of Eden was?
Of course.
The font, like I already know this stuff, but every single time somebody says it, I'm just hit with this thing of like, Missouri?
It's literally called misery. I swear to God. It's like, why would you have the Garden of Eden and it's called misery?
Son, that's because you're pronouncing it wrong. It's Missouri.
Anyone who God has chosen to promote and to advance, and that the hand of God is upon Donald J. Trump like never before, and the enemy, the true enemy, it's not Joe Biden because he's not all there. It's most definitely not drunk Nancy Pelosi because she's on her way out, right? It is most definitely not Cheney, right? Because she just lost her seat, right? But the enemy is Satan. The gates of hell, and because of it, they know that God's man, Donald Trump, has been appointed to bring the Christian right back to the forefront of American politics and American
Wait. So I read the Bible.
I'm sorry.
Okay? I've actually read the Bible, and from what I've read in the Bible, it makes complete sense to me that God would choose for his right-hand man is to put his hand upon an adulterer, liar, cheater, a man who's hoarding his money. That all coincides with what the Bible told me, right? Those are all those things are totally okay in the Bible, right?
Oh yeah, there isn't an entire thing about camels and needles and eyes or
Yeah, no, he's cool.
what was the other one? Something about casting your eye if it looks at something, or
if your eye causes you to sin, you pluck it out and cast it away because it's better for your eye. What is it? It's better for you to lose an eye to have your entire body cast into the fire of hell. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, that one. That one.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I couldn't tell you like where it is, but
So Trump is good because the blatant, obviously provable lies that he's busted out, the blatant, obvious, provable adultery that he's done, like cheating people out of money too. So he, like part of his thing was he would open up businesses and he would not pay contractors and then file for bankruptcy.
Oh God, what a fuck. What a fucking
they,
asshole.
They would be screwed out of their money. They would do all the work and they would buy the supplies to do it, and then he would file for bankruptcy and they'd never get paid. And he did this frequently.
Wow.
That is cheating. That is cheating people. He does not hold to the standard of a man that God would, if there was a God, God would call on to do his good work.
Yeah, he's a fucking con man. That's all he is.
He's a con man, and he's blatantly a con man, and anyone halfway paying attention can see that.
Yeah. And that's why it's so fucking like on point that he would take like the country's toppest secrets. Toppest? Yeah, sure. Toppest secrets.
So like Brent, toppest is great. Let's use that word from now on. Remember? We're good.
That's like one of the things I think I heard was like, and if it wasn't for these, it was definitely for like the gifts. Because when the country gives the White House a gift, they're not giving that president a gift. That is a gift for America or the United States.
Right.
And yeah. So it's like, and he's like, no, these are mine. They gave them to me. And it's like, no, dude, they gave them to the United States. They need to go in a thing because it's kind of a more universal gift.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, we haven't even heard anything crazy they've said. Just this guy so far.
Right. Let's see. Let me get back to this. All right. Let's finish it out, and then we got
America.
Go to the next one. Oh, that was it. Okay. Oh, thank goodness.
That's funny.
Oh, wait. So these two women didn't even say anything.
They didn't say it. Yeah. Thank goodness.
They were just like, yeah.
Holy fuck.
I was going to say, I mean, that kind of works with the Christian church is to kind of silence the women.
Yeah. The man's talking right now.
Look, honestly, I'm surprised that there were 3 black people on Lindell TV.
That is also true.
But it's
like, so I'll give him props for that. Like, at least he's not being obviously racist.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's do this one. This is
what you got, Brent?
Oh, I got a fun one.
Oh,
I think. I think.
I was gonna say
you're not even sure if it's a fun one.
It better
if it's
be
the
fun,
one I
my
remember.
cats are very distracting right now. They're being adorable and annoying at the same time.
All right, let's see.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, now look at this. This is really, really funny.
I already want to go back to the loading screen.
Yeah, can this just continue loading for the rest of my life?
It would be better than watching this.
Whoa, you all right?
You okay, Jack? Yep, he's fine.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yep.
I heard him shake. They're like, yeah, I'm good.
Maniacs.
I was just trying out a backflip and it didn't work.
No, it did not.
They're trying to pull on people's heartstrings and say, oh, this poor little boy going to school wearing a bulletproof vest and having to wear a helmet because of the fear of school shooters, right? Sorry, but I want to teach my son how to handle a gun. I want to teach my son how to intelligently use guns and operate them, because there is going to be a threat someday and they're going to be in danger someday. And I want them to be able to protect themselves, not have to.
It wouldn't be in danger as much if you didn't have so many fucking guns everywhere. Just by the by.
Did she just refer to her child as a they them?
Well,
she used them their pronouns.
She can't be doing that. That is just fucking evil.
Okay.
But okay, seriously though, can your kid bring a gun to school?
No. I mean, no, but that's what she wants. She thinks that if every kid had a gun,
if
fewer people would get
every 7-year-old
shot?
just brings a gun to school. School shooters wouldn't even need to be a thing, because it would be the students shooting each other.
Yeah, 7 years old. Yep.
Has the right suddenly forgotten what the word armor means? Because the whole thing of, I want him to be safe, so I'm going to give him a weapon instead of putting something that will stop bullets on him makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I could get the argument that you want him to have both. It's like, well, I'm also going to send him with a gun too.
Exactly. But it's like, oh no, we don't need this thing that is going to literally stop the thing that is highly projectilely going at them. Instead, he's going to do what? Bullet physics from the Matrix?
Right? Yeah.
Yes, maybe.
He's going to agent style, fucking, yeah, Jesus Christ. What the fuck are they talking about?
To just wear bulletproof vests and a hat. No, I want them to be able to actually protect themselves against real threats and kick some ass out there and maybe intervene when a school shooter comes and shoots their asses. I don't want them to go to school defenseless or scared. I want them to be able to know how to protect
asses. So okay, see, I don't want them to protect. She really likes the word ass, by the way. Just she's just so psyched that she gets to say ass on TV. It's like, protect their asses so their ass doesn't get shot, because they're going to shoot the other people's asses in the ass.
And then they're going to get shot by the police.
Everyone's just running around shooting people in the ass. And but this lady, she keeps using the word protection.
Yeah. And that's not how that. And what is with this karate kid get up that's going on here?
But a gun.
What is this?
I don't know.
What is
really
this?
bad cosplay. Let's go back to the
But a gun isn't for protection. It's for assault.
Yeah.
It is literally shooting projectiles at people. It is for assault. That is not a defensive weapon.
It's a device that, when it functions properly, kills people.
So you want your kid to be educated about weapons so that they can defend and protect themselves. Perhaps you need to become educated about weapons, because a gun is not a defensive weapon.
That's not those words don't make sense next to each other.
Also, she needs to educate herself on what the police are going to allegedly do.
Yeah.
But the police are looking for a person with a gun. If you have 300 students all with guns, they're looking around going, fuck if I know.
They always act like the mass shooter is not one of the fucking students.
They're not looking around, they're standing outside.
Fair, but then I guess then it will just take itself.
They're hiding in the hallway. Yeah,
because all the kids are going to think that all of the other kids are oh my gosh, this is really the plot line of another if you think about it. Wow.
But Hertzy's got such a good point. Like, as soon as somebody's like, "Hey, there's a mass shooter," and all the kids are armed, like the police are just going to show up,
like
and
running
oh,
around
everybody,
with their guns out.
and just like kill everybody because they're all.
And that's not, and
fuck
that's if the kids don't go running around killing everybody because they're like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
Right.
Exactly. But how do you solve mass shooters by changing it to a mass of shooters?
That solves it, right? You changed the nomenclature of the.
Because that's what they're doing. They're changing it from a mass shooter to a mass of shooters.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you have 60, let's say a weirdly small class of 7-year-olds that there's like 18 of them in there. What happens when a mass shooter comes in and 18 7-year-olds have guns to say, quote unquote, stop this mass shooter? Do you not think there's going to be some crossfire here? There's not going to be some friendly fire involved, because there most definitely is. Even if you put 18 trained adults, unless they're like military trained, you put 18 adults who went through just hand them a gun. Then you bring a shooter in. There's still going to be friendly fire then with grown-ass adults.
Bullets only hit the bad guys. Just so you know, that's how bullets work. Okay, I don't know.
Add to that, you got ricochet.
Yeah,
exactly. In a small classroom, and there's 18 guns going off.
I don't know if you've seen.
Also, everyone is now gone deaf.
Y'all have
you're in a closed classroom and 18 guns go off at the same time, you have permanently lost your hearing.
Clearly, y'all have not seen Roger Rabbit because they actually are little characters that know who to shoot.
Oh, the bullet, yeah,
little bullet characters,
Well,
and that's real life in reality. That's how guns work. Yeah,
that poor shoe.
What is that creepy? That would be creepy.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Be like, that's like kids going through puberty and they're like voices breaking, and he's like, I'm gonna totally beat you in this fight because I'm Mama Bobby a Desert Eagle.
I don't know if anybody knows, but Titan Uranus is actually David Smalley. I don't know if a lot of people know that.
What?
That's
what?
Yeah. That's my professional opinion.
Wow.
Is that your conspiracy theory?
It's a weird
No, it's not, because people aren't working together. No, there's nobody working together.
I'd say David Smalley are working together on this.
Inspiring.
Also, I would not insult Titan Uranus by calling him David Smalley.
I'm just kidding. Yeah. We love you, Titan Uranus.
Did you say we love it, Titan Uranus?
I mean, that's not saying I laugh at just about anything, but your jokes are actually funny. So,
okay. I'm going to correct this, though, because it implies that everyone's laughing at the jokes. When have you seen me laugh at a joke?
When have
you don't laugh at all? You're incapable of laughter.
I don't really laugh.
But you're practically fucking up the podcast, by the way, bro. Okay.
Right, because all successful podcasts are when you say a joke you've written down a week before, and then you just laugh at it the whole time. And half of your podcast is you laughing at each other on jokes you already knew you were going to say.
We're not on Left at the Valley anymore. Okay, so it's not.
You don't do that there either.
Deep shade. But I'm just kidding. Still,
let's get through this.
Do we have time for this other video? We got like 6 minutes. Bro.
Arm the schools. It's amazing. We can send $80 billion to the Ukraine, but we can't arm our schools and protect our own children.
Right, exactly. And arm our children. I mean, and have them learn how to protect themselves. That's what's going to stop.
How is this
serious? Stop threats. Not, going to school just wearing a bulletproof vest. Okay.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So
that is the worst cosplay I've ever seen, by the way.
Is this lady actually even a mother?
Probably not.
No, I think they have nothing to do with anything that's
She's like,
I don't know.
If
You're gonna have to prove it, Titan. I'm sorry. You're just gonna have to prove it.
If she is a mother, she has less mothering instinct than I have, and that's starting frickin' low.
But in what world do we now live in where two grown adults have, without any joking or irony or satire, said we need to arm the children?
It's like a Lauren Boebert fucking Christmas card. Like that's like what she thinks.
Arm the children.
That's
These
what
are
she thinks.
I had gotten that image, and now it's back in my head.
So they want. Do they want child soldiers? Do they like that?
I think.
Do they agree with that? It's like, let's just sign them up for the army at 6. They're old enough, right? Think of all those cool places, like small places a 6-year-old could climb into, and set explosives. It'd be perfect, right?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna arm the children anyway. Why not give them bombs too?
Oh dear God! These are people who have never dealt with a 7-year-old. It's like absolutely not. I love kids are a wonderful thing.
I don't even want to trust a 7-year-old with a water balloon because they're gonna like throw it in the house and it's gonna hit the TV, and the router's right below the TV, and all the water's gonna drip it and it's gonna burn out.
Well, and then my favorite thing is like when people ask kids, "Well, why did you do that?" I'm like, "This is a kid. Asking why they did something is not going to give you an answer. There is no answer."
Because I wanted to.
All right, one last one. And it's from Kingpin.
Hey, don't insult the Kingpin like that. I'm going to be cosplaying Kingpin again.
Like Vincent D'Onofrio's like, what the
perfect
fuck, man?
What an amazing hiring job for Kingpin, honestly.
Right. Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yeah.
He's still my second favorite.
Who's your first?
My first favorite was it was in Daredevil, and I can't remember his name, but he's one of my favorite actors.
Duncan.
Mike. It's like Michael something.
Michael Clark Green. Duncan.
Yes, and he passed away, which makes me really sad.
Yeah, this is Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I still say that's insulting Lex Luthor.
Yeah, I mean,
Lex Luthor, much smarter than this.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Trump has been dismantling the New World Order for the last 6 years. And when he comes back in office, and he is going to come back in office, he's going to finish what he started. I have every reason to believe that Trump is going to come back and he's going to crack some skulls in Washington, D.C. He's going to drain the swamp. He's going to end the New World Order. And I think we're going to live in a time.
He was supposed to drain the fucking swamp when he was the president for 4 goddamn years.
All right.
And all he did was make the swamp here.
We got to get to this video.
Yeah.
We're short on time.
Of peace,
short on your
and prosperity.
Your
I think the wealth that the wicked have stolen is going to be repatriated to us. I think that the cures for diseases that they have hidden from us are going to be revealed. I think we're going to be in.
Are we going to go med bed? Please say we're going to go med bed. Please say we're going to go med bed.
Trump has been dismantling the New World Order for the last.
No, we restarted it.
Yeah. No, it just did it on its own. But so we have the cures for all the diseases, y'all. I don't know if you knew that, but like,
that's a big secret.
That's a thing that's real.
Oh, there's a whole thing with a lot of QAnon about the med beds, and that they're like $10,000 for your reserved med bed, and that it's gonna, revolutionize. It's gonna cure everything, including autism. And I'm just like, oh dear God, people are actually giving money for this shit.
Yeah, you don't need to cure me.
Well, hey, everybody, please like and subscribe. I always forget.
Yeah, we're short. We're like 10 short, like 10
forget.
People. Like and subscribe, and we got to end real soon.
Yeah, we need 10 people before. Like, come on. And it's a good show, right?
Tell your friends. You have friends, right? Hope you have friends.
Yeah, share it.
Define friend,
please. Like and subscribe. Patreon.com/unapologetic, spelled with an X at the end.
Give me money.
And here is.
Do it. End. Bye-bye. Don't want to go. The Progressive House Podcast.
That's us. We're the Progressive
House Podcast.
Stay progressive and stay pals.
Pals? You're my friend.
Because having pals is good.
Yeah, pals are the best.
Good.